Hello, myself Mohammad Awais Khan of CSE ANML is here to give a presentation and my topic is new input-output technologies seek to end bottlenecks. Let us first look what is a bottleneck. Bottlenecks are the setbacks or the obstacles that slow down or decays a process. In the same way that the neck of a physical bottle will limit how quickly the water can pass through it, processes bottlenecks can restrict the flow of information, materials, products, and employers. Se- Bottlenecks are commonly associated with the manufacturing and logistics, but they can occur in any process where the network of people and are tasks rely upon one another to keep the work flowing. There are two main types of bottlenecks: short-term bottlenecks and long-term bottlenecks. Short-term bottlenecks, these are caused by temporary problems. For example, a key team member becomes ill or goes short-term bottlenecks. These are caused by temporary problems. For example, a key team member becomes ill or goes on a vacation and no one else is qualified to run their projects, which causes a backlog of work until they return. Long-term bottlenecks. These are the backlogs that occur regularly. For example, a company's month-ending report processes is delayed every month because of a specific person has to complete the series of time-consuming tasks first. Both types of bottlenecks can lead to the lost revenue, dissatisfied customers, poor quality products or services, and stress for the team members. So, identifying and fixing them is vital. What does input-output bottlenecks means? An input-output bottleneck is a problem where the system does not have a fast enough input or output performance. Input output bottlenecks. Many problems associated with the input output bottlenecks happen because of the data transcription processors simply have not matched the advancements in the processor speed and the memory capacity. Some point to the Moore's law, which refers to the doubling of a transistor, a circuit which also supported the tremendous growth in the computer processing and the memory storage throughout the late 20th and the early 21st centuries, when an input output can keep up, significant input output emerge. Experts also promote many different solutions for input output bottlenecks. Some are more broad. For instance, in some cases, a general input-output can be migrated by adding a RAM or utilizing a different kind of Ethernet connectivity in a network. However, other kinds of input-output technologies may require other types of solutions. For example, some experts point to a common cause of storage input-output technologies that have to do with the storage. Some input-output bottlenecks are caused by the redundant array of independent disk design where too few RAID components are trying to handle an excessive workload, yet some another input output bottlenecks problems may be due to the insufficient cache or the memory allocation that does not match the needs of the system overall. In virtual networks, individual components can cause an input-output bottleneck. What experts agree on is that the changing one single component of the greater structure often does not work. It is necessary to look at up the comprehensive setup in order to make sure that the input-output bottleneck do not just pop up somewhere else down the line. Newer types of engineering techniques such as a parallel processing or more distributed server networks and other innovation can help with the addressing input output bottlenecks are and allow IT managers to use ultra-fast computers and large memory bank more successfully. This brings us to the end of the presentation. Thank you.